It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey, good morning to you on Friday. Happy Friday to you. Weekend is here. We're excited about it, but first we'll do some news.
Yeah, the severe weather that hit the Springfield area very hard a few weeks ago continues to cause some problems. The Springfield Public School District had to fill out a waiver or lose more than $750,000 in state money. Wow. SPS would lose that kind of money for dropping below 169 days of class time for the school year. The tornadoes and storms, as you'll remember, knocked out power to half of city utilities customers in Springfield. So that included several SPS buildings. So, of course, classes had to be canceled on those days for some schools. So now the district is asking for an exemption to the rule because of the weather-related issues that were outside of their control.
Yeah. And I think, surely they're going to get that waiver granted because that seems like a common sense thing. What else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it feels very common sense unless for some reason they want to try to stick it to them because they can on a technicality. I don't know.
Well, what could have happened is they could have called them I forget what they call them, 3-letter days where the kids have to do school at home, basically. So
yeah.
That
right. But if the school building is out of power, so is the home.
A lot of people are without power as well. Right. So that's I think the only thing that could get them, but it doesn't make common sense. So I don't think that is going to happen. The Missouri legislature, meanwhile, voted to override a portion of Proposition A that requires businesses to offer a certain amount of paid sick leave. The legislature can do that, override something, because the proposition changed state law, not the state constitution. That's the difference. Proposition A went into effect on May 1st, mandated that businesses give employees 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours worked. The bill has to be signed by Governor Kehoe before it can go into effect, and if so, that would happen in August. It would go into effect in August. You may have some sticker shock if you receive a letter in the mail detailing an increase in your home's property value. We just got that letter yesterday. Mm-hmm. Greene County, for example, was mandated by the state of Missouri to raise property and land values by at least 13%. So get ready for that. It's the law in Missouri that counties have to reassess property values every other year, and this is an odd year when it happens. Greene County is mailing out letters to notify homeowners of the increase. So sit down before you open it.
Okay. If the Missouri legislature is going to offer an incentive package to the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals to get them to stay in Missouri, the governor will have to call a special session to do that now. As you know, the state Senate adjourned for its regular session this week, so they are finished. As an afterthought, some lawmakers tried to get a deal done as the session wound down, but at this point, nothing has come of it. The session, it's over. Both the Royals and the Chiefs, though, are looking at potentially relocating when their leases at their current stadiums run out in 2031. Of course, Kansas has been trying to sweeten the pot to get them to move across the state line.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't do anything. So I don't know.
I'm guessing, they do not like to call a special session, but I will not be surprised if they do.
Well, maybe so, but it didn't seem to be a priority at all this time around. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs schedule for this fall is now out, and single game tickets are now on sale. How about that? Football season already, right? They'll play 7 games in prime time as they try to get back to a 4th straight Super Bowl. They will have a rematch of this year's Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles coming up in week 2, so pretty early on. The Chiefs also play games on both Thanksgiving Day. They'll play the Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day, and then also on Christmas Day. They will play the Broncos at Arrowhead on Christmas Day. That'll be fun. And they will open the season against the Chargers on a Friday night, September 5th in Brazil.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, speaking of football, is now the owner of 6 local Whataburgers. I mean, at least his ownership group is. The company from Kansas City just bought 12 locations in the KC and Springfield areas from Whataburger. That deal includes 3 Whataburgers in Springfield, 1 in Branson, 1 in Ozark, and 1 in Republic.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see him down here at a store. Who knows? Former Springfield and St. Louis Cardinal Matt Carpenter is retiring from the game of baseball after 14 years in MLB, most of them in St. Louis. He played for the Redbirds from 2011 to 2021, before going on to New York and then San Diego for, I think, a year each. Then the Cardinals brought him back last season for 1 season, a 1-year contract. He was a 3-time All-Star during his career, a key member of the 2013 World Series runner-up for the Redbirds. Carpenter also played in Springfield in 2010, where he was an All-Star.
It's pretty awesome. All right, Sucker Days in Nixa.
Sorry, I was still talking. And was in a lot of Aaron Sachs commercials.
Sorry. I think I cut you off, but I didn't hear you. So in my defense, I would never willingly cut you off, or purposely, I should.
Yeah.
Okay, Sucker Days. Now to Sucker Days. It has been 67 years that Nixa, the city of Nixa, has been doing Sucker Days. And it is this weekend, today and tomorrow. Should be a great time. If you head to Nixa, you'll see it happening. There are more than 100 vendors, sucker fish tastings, kids rides, live entertainment, a beer garden, and parade, all happening in Nixa. Again, That's today and tomorrow.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a big deal. Those sucker fish, by golly.
Yeah, right.
Also, we want to tell you this is happening at Fort Leonard Wood. They are having some military appreciation fireworks. So not quite the 4th of July, but we are getting close, and it is always a good time to appreciate the military. So they are going to be setting off fireworks.
This at the Cardinals game.
Yes, at the Cardinal game, post-game military appreciation day. So St. Louis Cardinals ticket for 2 voucher giveaway as well. 2,000 fans through the gates will receive a St. Louis Cardinals ticket for 2 voucher for the 2025 season, a Busch Stadium exclusive.
Okay, that's a good deal.
That?
Go check out the Cardinals. Maybe it's great weather. I think so. And then you get to see the fireworks.
Okay. Also, this weekend is the Midwest Muscle 5th Annual Car Show. That is happening tomorrow from 9 to 2. And it's muscle cars. So I guess men love muscle cars, right?
That's going to be out at Allison Sportstown, where a lot of soccer fields and...
Okay, so their listing said Allison Sportstown, and I kept thinking that they surely meant to say like the E-Plex or something, but you're confirming that is what it says. I was like...
Yeah, they've had car shows out there before. I mean...
Really?
Griffin's had games out there, and there's car shows on the other side of the parking lot. Yeah, it happens.
Okay, so I've never been out there when they had anything other than sports, but there's a million cars out there for sports. So I guess it's just probably otherwise a weekend that's not a busy sports weekend out there, apparently. You know? So, okay, that's this Saturday, 9 to 2. Allison Sportstown is the place.
That's out by the airport if you haven't been there. It's a large complex of soccer fields.
Yeah, and it's nice. It has a big parking lot, but normally it's full of sports cars, you know?
Sports cars?
Well,
that's what's going to be there Saturday.
Parents in their car, but they drove there for the purpose of a sport.
Oh, it's a different kind of sports car.
Different kind of sports car. Could be a minivan. There's probably lots of those. Honda Odysseys, Dodge Caravans, things of this nature.
The works.
Chryslers. Anywho.
Okay, that'll do it for us on a Friday. Thank you for watching. We've dropped off, I think. We've
tapped out, everybody. Yeah, we're done.
I think so.
All right. That's a wrap. Have a super fantastic weekend.
On Monday, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is me. Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Friday, and thanks for kicking it off here with Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. It has been a toasty week so far in the Ozarks, and today is no exception. We have incredibly warm numbers out there this morning. In fact, temperatures are starting out near 60 degrees. You know it's going to be a warm day when you have temperatures that are starting off that warm. We also today have the potential for some severe weather in the forecast, so there are some hazards to talk about. They're not out there yet. I'm really thinking this is going to be closer to the mid-morning hours or just before lunch, probably closer to 11 a.m., noon. We'll start to see some big-time thunderstorms develop on the radar. Now, it's not for everybody. These are going to be isolated in nature, but the best chance for seeing them is going to occur along and south of I-44. And there's even a high risk of severe weather over in our far eastern counties. Folks east of Highway 65 have the best chance of seeing some of those big-time storms later today. I expect that most of the severe weather is going to be along and south of I-44, but there's a heavy rain threat with this as well, primarily for areas just east of us here in the Ozarks. So far eastern counties may see some of the torrential rain and heavy rain with flash flooding associated that's expected to go all the way from the boot heel of Missouri back through most of Kentucky, southern Indiana, into the Ohio River Valley. Big time outbreak for some strong thunderstorms with heavy torrential downpours today. The biggest concern for us here in the Ozarks, especially if you are listening east of Springfield, large hail. I'm talking baseball size hail. It is going to be an incredibly interesting day in the weather world because hailstones are going to have the potential to be lofted up into the clouds and really grow and grow and grow until gravity eventually brings them down. Huge hail, though, possible out of some of these storms today. There's also a wind threat as well as a tornado threat that gets higher the further east you go. So if you're listening this morning, you're out along Highway 63, anywhere from Rolla back through portions of Texas County, all the way down through the West Plains area, it's you folks that should be on high alert for the most extreme severe weather today, lasting from just before the lunch hour all the way through the late afternoon hours. I am expecting most of this rain and storm activity to be done by the evening, and then we will be dry, mainly for much of Saturday. The frontal boundary that's going to be pushing all of this through comes back north through the Ozarks Saturday night into Sunday. So additional storm chances are possible Sunday of this weekend, all the way into the early part of next week. The weather is looking rather unsettled. So we are not done with the rain and storms yet today, but after the big round of storms that we're expecting for our southern counties and eastern counties this afternoon, we get some dry time. If you're looking for a dry window this weekend, I think you'll be able to find that early in the day on Saturday before rain starts to move back into the forecast on Sunday. And then we also have some really good looking rain chances for Monday and Tuesday of next week as well. I do think that with all of these chances adding up around the Ozarks, once again, flooding will be re-entered into our forecasted hazards in the forecast as we head into the weekend and at least through the early part of next week. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, it's the same storm system that's impacting us. Severe thunderstorms bringing multiple rounds of severe weather and potential flooding hazards to the middle and upper Mississippi valleys, as well as the Ohio Valley today. We have dangerous heat still happening for portions of Texas. I'm sure you've heard about the triple-digit heat happening down there. Then heavy rain and flash flooding is possible for portions of the Ohio and Tennessee valleys today. So it is active across the country, to say the least, to wrap up this middle of May work week. Around the Ozarks, wake up weather brain twister trivia question time. The question that I left you with yesterday: which type of severe weather event, often associated with warm, moist air rising rapidly, can produce heavy rain, lightning, and flash flooding in a short period? And the options were A, blizzard, B, derecho, C, mesocyclone, or D, thunderstorm. This was not a trick question. These are all the characteristics of a thunderstorm. And of course, when they reach severe limits, which is what we're talking about today, that means hail to the size of a quarter or larger. It means winds to 60 miles an hour or higher, or a tornado associated with that type of storm. They can also come along with lightning, flash flooding, and develop very quickly often here in the Ozarks. We'll see some of that today. Here's the quiz question that I'll leave you with for Monday morning. What is the name of the atmospheric condition where warm, moist air near the ground is trapped beneath cooler, drier air aloft? it often leads to explosive thunderstorm development. Do you think that is A, cold front, B, a temperature inversion, C, a jet stream, or D, a dry line? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Kind of like these severe questions, I'll call them, as we are still in the middle of severe weather season. I want everybody to stay weather aware today along and south of I-44 and east of Highway 65. That's where we've got the best chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. No storms out this morning, but I'm expecting those to develop just before the lunch hour. So make sure you are staying weather aware today. Stay safe, everybody. I will chat with you again early next week. Thanks so much to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Have a great weekend.